So OnStar partnered with Cadillac, which partnered with Homesite. They're selling car insurance. So apparently if you buy a Cadillac or a GM, you have the options of purchasing their insurance. Well, the question is, how good is that insurance and where is it coming from? Essentially, it's Cadillac through OnStar through a company called Homesite. It's actually not uncommon. It's kind of odd because they're thinking, okay, well, if we're already going to sell our cars, we might as well sell the insurance with it and try to capitalize on that. But you got to be a little bit careful because you're not buying the car insurance from Cadillac or OnStar. They're subcategorizing it and outsourcing it to that Homesite company I mentioned, which is not uncommon as well because a lot of companies like Geico and Progressive and any companies that don't have insurance for usually home, they typically outsource it to a company like Homesite. It's pretty cool. So what we're going to do today is we're going to check out the quote. We're going to go live and I'm going to compare 3 different pieces. We're going to check out a location in Arizona. I just picked a random house. We'll show you here in a moment. And we're going to use that zip code to find out what the prices are. We're going to compare the OnStar Cadillac / Homesite. We're going to go direct to Homesite ourselves and see what the prices are. And then I'm going to check with Nationwide just as a third option to see what is available. If you're going to follow me through, I'd love to get a comment below and let me know beforehand. You can comment later too, but let me know what company you think out of those 3 is going to be the most competitive. I've never done this with any of these guys in this location, so this is new to me. I'm calling Nationwide. I think Nationwide is going to beat all of them, and I'm kind of curious to see what those results are. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are, and let me know if you were right or wrong. I'd be curious to see which one of us is correct. I've got OnStar pulled up on the left, and I have the address pulled up on the right, and then I have Nationwide, and I also have the Homesite website. I took the liberty of going through the OnStar one already, and this is the address that I used. I'll go back and I'll actually start over. I'll start a new one just so you guys know that I'm not trying to trick the system by any means. So the zip code here was 85142. In this case, we just want auto only. I tried to do it in Michigan where I live and they denied me instantly, said, sorry, we just don't work in that area. First name is going to be Test, last name is going to be Tester, and I'm going to put June 1st, 1982. We're just going to make up a birthday, and our address is this 1854 number, the Appaloosa Way. Looks like a great house, by the way, if there's anyone interested in a home in Arizona. And that's the zip code. We're going to say we own it. We haven't moved, and we're going to get an email. So we're just going to put test@test.com. And phone number 616-616-6166. Can't tell I've done a million of these quotes before. And while we're doing that, we're going to go to Homesite. So these are the 2 companies. This essentially, from what I found, is the company that you're going through. And we're going to click on their auto only. We got to plug in that same zip code, which I already forgot, 85142. There we go. Start our quote. We're going to add a vehicle. I picked the CT4. It looks like we're going to have to go with the luxury edition because I'm doing 2021. And we're going to do a Cadillac CT4. I could see driving one of those. They're not a bad car and they're not that expensive, so it wouldn't be something that I would be afraid to have. Now, in Arizona, you probably don't want the 4-wheel drive, but I'm really in Michigan, so I want the 4-wheel drive. The vehicle trim, I'm going to pick just the first one I got, which is I'm going to do the luxury. We're going to do the 2-liter. It's the luxury standard. We're not going to do the plus. We're going to go a little bit cheap. Okay, is this the vehicle? Yes, we're going to park it there. It's going to be for commuting to work and back. Any following features? Yes, we've got tons of discounts. Discount. Does the vehicle have any anti-theft? Yes, we've got OnStar. We've got the active alarm system. The passive or active, there's not a difference. You need to pick one or the other. And then we continue. So we've got the vehicle. We're going to edit my information. I don't know why it doesn't ask that up front, but we're going to put me a single. We'll say I have a license. I've been licensed since 16. Do test need financial responsibility. I don't need any special requirements. I'm perfectly legal to drive. No accidents. We'll say this is a perfect scenario. We're going to put me with AAA. We're going to say I've been with AAA for 5 years or more. And the current policy ends, we'll say November 25th, 2021. So it ends that day. We'll say that's fine. Current limits. I want the highest I can get. We're just going to go for the best coverage because I want to take good care of this car. I need comprehensive. I need collision. So we're good there. Going back to Homesite, it connects us, which you may or may not have watched my other video where we talk about Homesite is actually part of American Family. So what it's done is the Homesite has redirected us to American Family. Why not? Let's check it out. If you haven't watched my review on American Family and the Homesite, you may want to check that out. 85142. I'm not going to lie, it was not favorable. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't one that I was super interested in. Okay, we said June 1st, 1982. And the address is that. Okay, everything's plugged in. And what year did you begin living in that address? We'll say 2000. We've been there for over 20 years. Okay, we're not going to look up the VIN because we don't have one, but we're going to say this 2021 Cadillac CT4 Luxury. We just did the base model, and there we have it. Okay, we're going to do greater than the 100/300, and this is just for self and or spouse. Driver and passenger airbags. It does have 4-wheel anti-lock brakes. We're going to park it in our garage. We're going to use it for regular to work and back. And I do not want to add another vehicle. Continue. Email test@test.com. I am a male and I have a valid license. I've been driving since 16. Here's the car I'm driving. I am single in this scenario. I am we'll say I have we'll say I have college or high school. Defensive driver I have not taken, so in this situation I'm not going to use that. No accidents. I haven't had any violations, and there's no additional drivers. We'll continue there. Currently we said AAA. We do own our home, and we do not want a home quote at this time. How do we hear about us? We'll just put other. All right, so there's our reference number, whatever that means. And do you have an active account with Ameriprise? No. Okay, effective date, we said November 25th, 2021. Okay, the date of today is October 15th, so we've got a month before this policy expires, so it's not giving us a bad rating there. So we've got a price, $964.50 has come back. Let's go ahead and see what the OnStar says. We're not going to get any discounts for this. Do I plan on doing paperless? Yes. Do you plan on recurring payments? Yes. Do you currently have a home insurance policy with OnStar? No. Okay, so while that's calculating, let's go ahead and just finish up the quote here with Nationwide. Now, Nationwide has this cool program where they actually have a quick quote, which has been fairly accurate as well, and I do like that system. Let's view our quote on this side, $1,017.90. Okay, let's compare the coverages here in just a moment. So the Nationwide one wouldn't give us a quote. They wanted us to call. We're going to switch over to Geico. So I'll put a timestamp if you want to skip past the Geico quote, but for those of you that want to make sure that I did this correctly, I'm going to go online and do a quote with Geico based on all the same exact information. So if you don't trust what I'm typing, go ahead and watch. I will chat with you for a moment, and we're going to just continue. Fingers crossed they don't deny me. It'll be the first time that I've ever gotten a quote from Geico to work. In this case, I'm going to do the premium car. I had the luxury picked, but for some reason Cadillac doesn't show luxury on this one for the CT4. So the only thing we have is the standard, the premium, and the sport. I'm just going to pick the premium, the middle line, which is what I'm assuming I'm quoting with these luxury models. We'll just have to see what it comes out to. We'll say I own it. And if anything, I'm actually over quoting it with Geico. If you haven't watched my Geico video, I did a discount video on them as well, so you can see a lot of their discounts. I'm not going to enroll the 10% off for the Drive Easy. I also did a video on that as well. And so we're just going to put test@test.com. Do that. And let's take a look at what our quote comes out to be. Now, keep in mind, when we're doing this quote, there's a couple things that we need to remember. We're not exactly quoting the exact person. So credit isn't playing a factor. It's doing what's called a no-hit. Hopefully it's not hitting something and just giving a negative piece. So the price might not be exact. The address it is pulling could have some issues as far as the location being in a bad neighborhood, but it looks like it's in a great neighborhood according to the photos. So I'm not worried about that one there. The 6-month policy with Geico was actually very competitive. They're $1,001, so they were the cheapest if I'm not mistaken, at least compared to the OnStar system, the $1,017. And then if we go to their actual home site, which I'll show you how you can find this out, is they say this is underwritten the member companies of Homesite Group Incorporated. Well, if I right click and I say search Google for that, the very first link, we can pretty much assume that this home site is the one that they're talking about. Now, I'm not 100%, I haven't dug into the paperwork, but that's the LLC, and I'm 95% sure that's exactly the company we're going through. And when we quote through the home site, the actual home site itself came back cheaper. They came back, let's see if I can go back forward here. I'm trying to find the vehicle make, at $964.50. So keep in mind, the coverages have changed. I didn't notice this, but they're quoting me the 100, 300, so we need to change that to match these other limits that everybody else is quoting, this 250, 500. We're including the uninsured motorist. Everybody adds medical. That's pretty common in Arizona, but not required. And we actually didn't even include it in this one. So I'm going to leave it on, and we'll try to edit this one in a moment to make that match. They did a $250 comprehensive deductible, 500 collision. There is towing included and rental car included with this. So if we recalculate, based on the $250, 500, we're $1,013.50. Now comparing that back to the Cadillac one is the same, except this one doesn't say that it includes towing, 24-hour online service portal. It doesn't say anything about towing or road service or rental car. So I would want to find that out. Either way, they're more expensive. So for the amount that you're going to pay for the 1,017 versus the 1,013, I'm honestly going to lean towards going directly with American Family / Connect / Homesite, whatever company you want to call it at the time. That's the company I would lean towards. Geico seems like they're fairly competitive, but this is their 6-month term at $1,001. They're not including the MedPay. So if it will let me edit this, and I can up the MedPay to $5,000. Everything else is good. Upgraded accident forgiveness. We're not going to do that this time. We have the deductible for comprehensive we said was $250. We're not doing full glass or anything like that. We have emergency road service. They have $35 a day. And we're not going to do medical breakdown or mechanical breakdown. So the biggest comparison is 1,013 versus what's going to show up here, which is 1,061. So price-wise, it looks like Homesite is the cheapest option. Keep in mind, that's not necessarily the best company to go with. I'm not saying one is better than the other in this situation because I don't live there and I can't tell you that. I haven't done the research for that part. What I can tell you is ease of use. If you're buying a $40,000 Cadillac and you're at the dealership and you don't care about an extra $5 a month and you don't care about some extra little tiny coverages, especially if you're going to lease the car, you're probably already getting road service and towing included with that. You're usually covered in those situations. So is it worth saving the $5 to $10 to deal with the one yourself? Probably. Honestly, I would pick a different company myself, knowing that it's the home site and it's not tied directly. I would want to see what my home is with it. If you have homeowners insurance, there's a whole lot of stuff I would want to learn more about. But that's essentially the quote that Cadillac and GM is offering for their vehicles. If you guys are interested in finding the best company that's going to be a fit, regardless of it's Arizona or Michigan or whatever the state is, you may want to watch this video here. It's going to give you some pretty good tips. Go ahead and click on it and let's go through that.